All right, Ben, you want to get us started?
Hey, good morning, Sam.
Good morning.
Couple things for you. Going back 1 week quickly to that Cal game, I think I saw you come out of the locker room. Were you hurt at one point, or was that just a bathroom break?
No, I was a little dehydrated on that early morning, so I just got to get some fluids in me. I was fine.
Okay. And then I got a story. I'm doing something on the way you guys handle contact tracing. Do you guys report that any close contacts on a daily basis, or only after somebody tests positive?
Yeah, so every day before we come in, we have our little contact tracing form that has to be submitted before we can even enter the building. So it's an every morning thing, close contacts, even where we are all at every point of the day. So yes, everyday thing.
That's kind of relies on you guys to be tell the truth on that. Does that give you any worries that, obviously everybody wants to play, that some guys might be putting others at risk?
I think everybody on this team is going to put the team first. I mean, Coach Kelly talks about protecting our ecosystem like at all costs all the time. So I don't think anybody on this team is selfish enough to do something like that. So no, I'm not really worried about that.
Thank you.
Mike.
Hey, good morning. I wanted to ask you about preparation for each game. You know, the offense has been putting up big numbers, and Coach Kelly has praised the offensive line, in each of those games. Can you quickly talk about, what Coach Justin Fry has done, especially in like video sessions to get you guys prepared, and what he looks at in game?
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it has to do with the walkthroughs we do in the evening. I mean, after camp, like you still work technique stuff every day, but really it's scheme and the fit for each week. So I think those walkthroughs really help. And then Coach Fry does a great job of drawing up all the plays. We can ask questions, I mean, after Wednesday, our physical work for the week is pretty much done. So then it's a lot of whiteboard talk, a lot of walkthroughs, and I think that's really helped.
Back to Ben.
Can you take us through the ways this line's kind of come together over these 3 games? It seems like there's been a nice progression. You guys are playing really well together, and obviously help this run game be very productive. How has it kind of come together?
I think it's nice having a lot of guys that can play. A lot of guys can roll in and out, and there's really there's no fall off when we do that. So I think it comes down to everybody just communicating, us getting more comfortable communicating with ourselves. And I mean, our backs are making us right. I mean, Felton, you barely even have to block for him. He runs the ball like a madman.
Thank you.
Tracy.
Hey, Sam. Being a former walk-on and now being a clear starter at center, and you're only a junior, I know you probably think of yourself as a complete scholarship player, but there might be a little bit of a remnant in there of a walk-on. How does that feel? How satisfying is that? Is that to come in as a walk-on and that you're a starter on the offensive line and a line that's doing really well?
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I actually talked to Josh Kelly about when I got put on scholarship and right before spring ball started this year was just like that meant keeping that walk-on mentality. Like, to me, nothing's really changed. Like, I'm still out here every day working, and that's what Josh said really was just don't ever lose that like chip on your shoulder or that mentality, because like, yeah, it's great to be a starter, but don't think that you've arrived or anything. So you just got to keep working.
Do you think the players generally treat you differently when you're a scholarship player and when you're a walk-on?
I can't speak for other schools, but here, no. I mean, from freshman year, we all came in, even like there's so many guys that came in my freshman year that aren't here now, but we all came in as one group. I think under Morrow when I came in, and especially under Coach Kelly, we some kids, I don't even know if they're walk-on or scholarship when they first come in. So no, I don't really think there's that much of differential treatment.
One last question: is it difficult at all, or is it to work with the platooning that goes on in the guard positions on both sides of you? That every other series, you've got a new player in there. And is there some kind of transition that you need to go through with them?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, we do it every day at practice. We're rolling every single set of scout team we got. So not really. I trust everybody that comes in the game, and they trust me. We all got to just do our jobs. So no.
Okay, good deal. Thanks.
Yep.
Rick.
Yeah, Coach Kelly, Sam, this morning gave you high praise for the great job that you're doing at center. When you walked on here, weren't you a guard first?
I mean, I played tackle in high school and then kind of played guard and center freshman. I mean, I played center on the scout team, but that's just because that's where they needed me. So
how do you like playing center, and what is the biggest responsibility being the center?
I guess I like being able to like set things up on offense. Like I trust everybody, but I like being the guy that actually does it and gives the fit and makes the points and stuff. And it's the biggest challenge. I mean, the main thing I got to keep working on is just being correct every time. Like Coach Fry always says, like, don't search for things, let it present itself to you. Sometimes I get in trouble when I go out looking for looks instead of just letting them come to me, because I know what to do when they're presented. I just can't go out and make false IDs and false looks.
How good of an offensive line can you guys become? I mean, once again, Coach Fry has done a real good job putting the line together. I mean, last January, they thought it looked like you're going to have 4 experienced players, and here we are, 3rd game in, and he had to replace 3 starters again.
Yeah. I mean, we can be as good as we allow ourselves to be. I mean, Coach Fry has been saying that, especially recently, that like we're skilled enough and we're talented enough to go out and make the plays that need to be made. We just need to put ourselves in a position to make them. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot like we've done against Colorado early in the game, and then like against Oregon early in the game, and then at the end there. So I think as we grow and communicate more and just become even more cohesive, I think we can be as good as we want to be.
Can you talk about the mentality it takes to be a good run blocking team?
Really, I think it's trusting your backs, it's trusting the boys next to you, and then it's just like my guy is not going to make the play. That's, I guess, the mentality you would have. I mean, you can talk technique, you can talk scheme and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it comes down to not letting your guy in on the tackle. And then, as I said, Felt, Britton, all those guys are just great to block for because they set up our blocks. So we just have to stay on them. They make a cut and they're off to the races.
All right, just a couple more. Let's go to Mike.
You guys have had to come back in 2 games now, and despite getting the loss, you still kept it close. How much does the game plan change when you guys are in a bit of a hole?
Not much, honestly, because the holes that we've been in, we've made for ourselves. I mean, 4 turnovers against Oregon. You shouldn't even be in a game at that point, but our game plan doesn't change because we knew that we could go out there, we could run the ball, we could throw the ball around the field. So at halftime, it's just same thing, we can't keep making the mistakes that we were making early in that game.
All right, any last questions for Sam? All right, thank you, Sam.
Thank you. So I just press OK.
All right, we're now joined by Duke Clemons. Let's get started with Ben.
Duke, offensive lines obviously played very well the last 2 games. Do you agree with the kind of the mindset that an offensive line is only as strong as its weakest link? And if so, how have you guys gone about making sure everybody's on top of their game?
Yeah, I do believe in that. And the way we work in practice is we expect everyone to do their job and to do more than that. So we always hold each other accountable, and I think that's like our biggest asset. We just keep working hard and pushing each other, and we don't really worry about a weakest link because we're all right there and we all got each other's backs.
Mike.
Hey, good morning. You guys are consistently putting up big numbers, points, total offense, rushing offense, passing offense has dipped a little bit, but you know that seems to happen when you run the ball a little bit more. You know what's what's it like running with this offense? What has been the biggest difference in putting up those yards from last season?
I think it's just good because the scheme is really good for us. If we do our job, big plays can happen, and that's what I kind of notice about this scheme, this offense, and I enjoy that part of it because you trust your teammates to make the plays they're supposed to make, and good things happen from that.
Rick.
Yes, hi, Duke. You played left guard last year, and now you're over at right guard. Can you tell us if there is any difference, what's the biggest difference between the two spots?
The biggest difference is you're playing on the other side of the ball, but towards like play-wise and technique-wise, everything pretty much stayed the same. We do a lot of rotating in practice and getting comfortable with all the interior positions, so it wasn't too hard to make the transition. The same technique, same rules, so everything wasn't too bad.
Can you talk to us about the mentality it takes to be a good run blocker? What do you think that is?
You just gotta. I think the mentality for me is just block your man. Like do everything you can to make sure he doesn't make the play, to make sure that he doesn't disrupt the play, and things you just gotta know. Like, hey, on this rep, I'm 1v1 versus you, and I need to win, and that's the mentality. Like, drive your feet and make sure he doesn't make the play.
It helps to be awfully physical as well in winning the physical battle, right?
Yes.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions for Duke? Mike, did you have other?
Can you talk about the holes that you guys are opening up for Dimitri Felton? He's had a career game against Oregon, and to be able to go up against the Oregon defensive line like that and get him out in the open, and even Britton Brown. Can you talk about what you guys have been doing for the run game? Especially in the last two games.
We just have good scouting reports. We scout other teams really well, and our scheme shows that. And we just pick on defense's weaknesses, and we do our job. We block our man, and things open up, and that's how it should be. And I guess that's how it's been going, and we're just happy with our progress so far.
All right. Any last questions for Duke here?
One more. Can you hear me, Duke?
Yeah, Rick, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, Duke, talk to us about Justin Fry as an offensive line coach. Every year he's been here, he's been challenged with revamping the offensive line. That's pretty challenging. Talk to us about him and what he means to you guys.
The thing about Coach Fry is he's very frank. He'll tell you what you're doing wrong. He'll tell you what you're doing right. And that's like the biggest help. He doesn't sugarcoat things. He tries to crack things on the head early so it can get corrected, and you can make the right plays and the right blocks. And he preaches the same thing to us, so like the young guys in the room, they hear the same things we hear. So it's kind of been good. Like he always says, everyone be ready, so it's just good to have those messages that he gives us, and just everyone just ready and wanting to compete and getting better. So everyone's just getting better.
Thanks, Duke. Good luck
Thank
on
you.
Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, Duke. Thanks for your time.